Let me have. Thank you so very much for being back, and if you just joined us, Enterprise Friday it is, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. The Nigerian government reportedly paid Boko Haram militants millions of US dollars to secure the release of about 230 children and staff kidnapped from St. Mary's Catholic Boarding School in Papiri in Niger State in November of 2025. Intelligence sources revealed that 2 Boko Haram commanders were also released as part of the agreement, despite Nigerian laws that prohibits paying ransom to kidnappers. The ransom money was reportedly transported by helicopter to Boko Haram's stronghold in Gwoza, Borno State near the Cameroon border and delivered to militant commander Ali Ngulde because of poor communication network in the area. Ngulde reportedly crossed into Cameroon to confirm receipt of the payment before the first group of about 100 children was freed. The abduction initially involved nearly 300 pupils and staff, though about 50 managed to escape captivity earlier. The kidnapping has been linked to a notorious Boko Haram commander known as Sadiku, who is also suspected of leading to 2022 attack on the Abuja Kaduna train, where many passengers were kidnapped for ransom. The release of the students followed 2 weeks of negotiation reportedly led by Nigeria's National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu. While government officials publicly denied paying any ransom, 4 intelligence sources told the AFP that a significant payment was made to secure the safe return of the school children. I still have with me Echo John Nicholas. Thank you so very much, Mr. Nicholas, for being here. Truly do appreciate you once more.
Thank you for having me back. Yes. Thank you very much.
So there we have it. You know, we started from our newspapers where we're talking about how that the things that we see today in Nigeria is not new, but it's just that it's getting worse and worse every other day. Now we have it from AFP, a Paris-based publication house that had stated that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration had paid about $7 million to Boko Haram for the release of over 200 school children abducted sometimes last year in Niger State. What do you think about this?
Well, I think that this as again highlights and underscores the hypocrisy of the government. I mean, the Tinubu-led administration. And don't forget that the Nigeria as a country has a law against the payment of ransom. And the government that made that law or that signed that law into that signed the law is still the one that is bridging it. And the worst of it is that they will still come out in public to deny it. And this is not the first time they will pay ransom and they are denying. They have always paid and denied. And that is why resolving this insecurity issue, including banditry, kidnapping, and other criminality, will take a very long time before it can be resolved, especially under this administration. And it's not just this administration alone. As long as the system remains the way it is, this is how things will be. The point is this. You can't be paying ransom to hoodlums, to terrorists, and you expect them to cease kidnapping. Or you expect them to discontinue, perpetrating the evils they have been perpetrating. The more you pay ransom to them, the more they are able to acquire sophisticated hardware to continue to perpetrate their evils. And that tells you why the government is reluctant in bringing to book all these elements, those criminal elements. Because the kidnapping market has become a huge racket for both government and the private sector. Up to this moment, they are still denying that no ransom was paid. Don't forget, even the Kwara church adoption, the church that was attacked in Kwara the other time, it was rumored that they pay ransom to release, before the release of those church members that were adopted. And they came out and denied. And there is never any smoke, and there's never any fire without smoke. And in the Vanguard newspaper today, it has been reported that the Nasarawa state government, allegedly, that is aware that those terrorists, they is passing through the route within the Kwara state, within the Nasarawa state to go and attack, Benue. That they have located to Nasarawa, to Kwara, Kogi and Benue, that there's a route they pass where they have their camp. It's a popular news there, and the government of Nasarawa is denying that they are not aware. And the villagers that are within the borders, they have said that they have written several letters to the government, the state government, that is Nasarawa state government, and they have even written to the governor, and they have given it to the security operatives, and yet nothing is being done. Sir, a kidnapping case happened here in my own community in Ogun State, in the Ijebu area here. The community is known as Aikongba Aguru. The man is a fish farmer. The farm is located at Alayo Farm. This man wanted to sell fish. He was ambushed in his farm, and he was kidnapped with 4 other women, including a breastfeeding mother. And when they came outside, they told us that where they took them to was less than 2 to 3 kilometers away from the point of kidnapping. They successfully negotiated the ransom in that very place, less than 2-3 kilometers where they were kidnapped. They successfully negotiated 17 million ransom, and they collected it before they were released. And where they were released is less than 1 kilometer to where they were kidnapped. And that stretch of the road, Lagos-Benin Old Road, you have the Obalede Divisional Police Station. You have the area command, the Igbeba area command, police area command, located in Ijebu. So up till now, we have not had anything. No investigation is being carried out. Nothing has been said from the Larry Ogulowo-led police command, Commissioner Larry Ogulowo-led Ogun Police Command, even from the government of Ogun State. Nobody has mentioned anything about that kidnapping incident.
So my question is this, sorry for interjecting here, is this as a result of fear by the government, or is it complicity at this point?
I think it's more of complicity. Why would you say government should be afraid? We are talking of government that have the power of life and death. Who is more powerful than government? After God, if there is God, is government. So, and you have non-state actors armed to the teeth, challenging the authority of the state. And the state has turned a blind eye. It's because the state is culpable. They are not accomplished. With all the registration of NIM, with all the technical advancement of today, those kidnappers, they are not spirits now.
Yeah, very true.
Are they not human beings? What does it take to locate them? What does it take? And yet, they have not been brought to book. And they are roaming the forest and the villages free. Nobody is challenging them. Except few of them who are unlucky. Maybe they didn't play the right game. That is when you hear that security have nabbed them. In Kaduna State, one of those bandits, they killed an assistant commissioner of police and wore the uniform of the assistant commissioner of police and went for a meeting with the Kaduna State government. They were not arrested. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the state is culpable. And they are busy about 2027 election. They are only interested in winning the election and winning the country, enriching themselves with the country resources as against protecting the lives and property of the citizens. As long as these charlatans remain in power, this is what we are going to have. Until you have a government of the people that take the life of citizens seriously, nothing is going to change. Boko Haram has reigned unchallenged for almost how many years? Over a decade. And we are still discussing Boko Haram. And don't forget, the Bola Tinubu government came, rode on the crest of insecurity, just like, the late President Buhari's, government to win election. And they are giving us all sorts of excuses. They are giving us alibi. Why they cannot arrest? What are we talking about? And trillions of nairas are budgeted every year for security. Aside the security vote that are given to the governors, to the state governor, what do they do with it? So it means that somebody is enriching his or herself with all these resources. And that is why we are not seeing results. They claim they have decimated them in the northeast. Presently now, the news is awash of the fact that they are now in north central of Katsina, of Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, Kwara, and the likes of them. Niger, they are occupying the forest. Sadiku, what is his name now? He's said to now have the camp, along a Shiruru forest. And these are not spirit, they are human beings. What does it take, to get these guys arrested within the forest? So it's because government is culpable. They are not accomplished. That is why we are not getting the right result. And that is why we are maintaining, sir, that to resolve the security crisis in Nigeria, first and foremost, is to address the material condition that gave room to insecurity, which include poverty. Competition for resources in terms of, herders, farmers, clashes, and things like that. But above all, there is a need for the community themselves to form a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, and non-partisan, security committee to be armed when necessary, to begin to defend themselves. And they should be under the democratic management of the community people themselves. I think that is the only way to begin to address all this issue.
But what do you think about state policing?
If we have that kind of...
but what do you think about state policing at this point? Because the new IGP is really serious about allowing for state police. He had already set up a committee to look into state policing, which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had promised would ensure that there is peace. So how do you think state policing will solve the issue of insecurity when you have said that the government largely is complicit to some of the things happening in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. The state police will not be different from the federal police, the Nigerian police as we are having it now. What we need is not state policing. It is the government that takes the life of the citizens serious. When you have that kind of government will fund adequately. When I mean adequate funding, I'm not talking of the top echelons of the of the police, the army, that benefit from awarding contract and things like that, at the detriment of the foot soldiers within the security forces. We are not going to get anywhere there. When we talk of adequate funding, we are talking of equipping the police adequately and the army. The foot soldiers must be properly taken care of. The ordinary police, their remuneration should be properly, they should be properly paid, properly remunerated. They should be allowed to have a union, police union, army union, that will begin to, raise issues as it affects their democratic rights and their condition of working. That these are the only way you can address all this issue. But this kind of government we are having cannot address that. When you, it's like talking about state police. It's like digging one hole to use the sand to feed the other one. It's not going to take us anywhere. The federal police is unable. You are talking of state police. Then they will give you the argument that, yes, the community, state police will be closer to, the people. Sir, they have what they call community policing presently now that work with the normal police. Do you know that those community policing, they are even worse than the normal police? In my area here, they block road every day, harassing the passerby, collecting money from motorcycle and tricycle rider. You will have one policeman among the community police, like 5 or 6 of them. What do? They put roadblock and be extorting people. When you have state police, it's the same thing that will be replicated. State police is not the answer. It's adequate funding of the police, allow the police to have union, to begin to demand for their democratic right and improve their condition of services, remunerate them appropriately. and equip them. If Nigerian police don't lack training, you have intelligence officer. If a pin get lost in the desert, they will find it if they are properly funded. It is the government that is responsible for the poor performances of the security agencies.
Very, very true. But let's take a look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration at this point. I remember when they came into power, Shetima, who has been fingered in lots of things, but we love to believe they are all allegations at this point. He said he was going to be in charge of security, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was going to be in charge of the economy. 3 years down the line, we have seen a worse, riddled insecurity in Nigeria, and on the economy part, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed so handsomely. What do you think is the best way out now? Is it that getting these two people out of the way, or helping them to realize that they have failed and they should do something about it?
The thing is this: they couldn't have done otherwise. They could not have done otherwise. It is part and parcel of the system of government that they run. You cannot be running a capitalist system where you implement a pro-rich and anti-people's policy in a neo-colonial economy and expect to get results. So it has been programmed to fail. And that is why we are where we are. That Shetima will take care of security. Is it not the same Shetima State? A lieutenant general was killed the other day by the hoodlums. What happened? Have they been brought to book? It is the same thing that is happening in the economy, that is happening in the security apparatus. It's the same thing. The way they are running the economy is the same way they are running security. As long as the economy, the way it is presently constituted, is not being run for the benefit of the mass majority, and that can only happen when you nationalize and place the commanding height of the economy under the democratic control of workers and professionals within that sector, with a view to liberating the resources to develop society. We are not going to go anywhere. What have they done to Lake Chad that is shrinking, that is leading animals from north to come to the south in search of fodders? We have been talking of ranching. How many have they established? How many of these, farm settlements that have been dilapidated have they transformed? To accommodate the Fulani nomadic herdsmen in order to solve the issue of farmers' herders clashes. How many have they done? The desertification that is taking place in the north. What have they done about it? All the money that has been released by donor agencies, how have they expended it? These are the issues. And on top of that, the Tinubu government continue to implement ruinous anti-poor capitalist policies that has made life unbearable for the people. People can't eat. People can't go to school. Community are being displaced. In Lagos, they are, taking over people's land and things like that. All those people that have been displayed today, now before you know it, they go into criminality. No job for the youth. Nobody is thinking, nobody is talking anything. Or the only thing they are interested in is revenue generation to improve their opulent lifestyle. So in that kind of situation, where are we going to find ourselves? It's not about replacing Tinubu and Shetima, maybe with Atiku or Obi. They all subscribe to the same neoliberal capitalist policy. What we need is workers' political alternative, a party of farmers, a party of artisans, a party of ordinary Nigerian market women, name them, that will have a socialist program of nationalization of the commanding heart of economy with democratic management, with a view to liberating resources, as I've said earlier. Until we have that, nothing is going to change. We keep revolving around the same circle. Sir, next year we'll still be discussing this same security issue on this same platform.
So does it mean that the likes of, let's say, for instance, if Showore miraculously, takes over, do you think his sort of ideology might solve the problem that we have? Or is he just but an activist who might equally play to the gallery at this point? So what do you think? Because you talked about creating a new party which to lots of Nigerians it still looks fictional to some extent. So what do you think at this point we can do to manage what we have?
Yes, what we can do to manage what we have. You talk of Shogure. Yes, a Shogure might not necessarily be a full-rounded socialist that fully subscribe to socialist idea, programs and policies. But of course, a Shogure government, just as he have said in his manifesto when he contested the other time, you have free education, proper funding. Let me use the word proper funding of education, investment in healthcare. Investing in social sectors with a view to improving the life of average Nigerian. And that is why we, as members of democratic socialist movement and as Marxists and socialists, we are demanding that, look, a Shogure should not stop at investing on all those, social sector, as we have said, that it need to take it further, that the commanding height of the economy need to be nationalized and placed under democratic management of workers and professional within the relevant professional body to begin to manage all these sectors democratically so that the resources can be liberated. But if those commanding height is left the way they are now, under the same capitalist shacks as it is today, you can be sure that Shogure might not be able to go further than what all these elements are doing. A Shogure might not subscribe to privatization. He doesn't subscribe to commercialization. He does not subscribe to deregulation. But he has to take it beyond that. And that is why we are calling on all broad left, all socialist organization to come together, that the AAC should call a conference of all broad left socialists to begin to discuss the political alternative and the political direction amidst the 2027 coming election. And we have raised that call, and we use this opportunity to once again call on Shogure, to convey that summit, as I have said, of socialist broad parties to begin to, discuss the future of Nigeria in terms of programs and policies that the government can implement that will, solve all these intractable, pervasive, challenges we have been confronted with under the Tinubu administration and the successive administration before the Tinubu regime.
Yes, very well said. I'm happy that we're saying this because this is an intellectual discussion. So sometimes we might pander here and there. And let's do some historical facts here, because you talked about a socialist government that would not be capitalist in nature. But let's go back to memory lane for a bit. Kwame Nkrumah had that sort of ideology. Patrice Lumumba had such kind of ideology, and many other nationalists had such ideology. But knowing that no country is an island, you have to work with nations around the world. How do you think having such an ideology in a nation or in a world that is capitalist driven, how do you think it's possible for you as one entity to strive when you have pockets of people around you, bigger countries around you, who sometimes determine what happens around the world? How do you think such an ideology would work?
Thank you very much. I think it's not just about Nkrumah. That was what led to the deformed worker state under the USSR, the Union of Soviet States. You will recall that after the 1917 revolution, the Russian Revolution, as led by Lenin and Trotsky under the Bolshevik Party, the cardinal program that were meant to safeguard that revolution as at that time was that, number one, socialism cannot succeed in one country. That there is a need for a revolution in another advanced country in order for the revolution in Russia to succeed. And that if there is no revolution in other country, other advanced capitalist countries as at that time, that the revolution in Russia is going to be asphyxiated, it's going to be denied of oxygen, and over time is going to collapse. Trotsky, already propounded that theory. But after the death of Lenin and the exile of Trotsky, when Stalin took over, Stalin, as a result of the bureaucratization of that system, the Soviet Union eventually, collapsed. Because, what's his name now? Joseph Stalin, instead of ensuring, linking up with other workers to ensure that revolution happened in Germany, it happened in Spain and other countries, all those revolutions, even in China, were decapitated. They never saw the light of the day. And that revolution was, isolated within the Soviet Union. And that led to the deformation of that worker state. But be that as it may, as deformed as that worker state was under Joseph Stalin, because of the planned economy and the nationalization of the commanding height of the economy and the democratic management and control by workers, that economy became the second economy in the world, and USSR began to compete, with the US and Britain. And as you know, that led to Cold War, as led by US and Britain within the Western Hemisphere, and the Russian states and others. But the point I'm making, you talk of Nkrumah, first and foremost, the African socialism has propounded, or as I believe practiced by Nkrumah and co, even Awolowo and the likes of them, was a variant, was not the true, state of the way socialism should be practiced. It was an African socialist, it was a welfare state. There was no nationalization. Even when there was nationalization, limited nationalization under Nkrumah's government, there was no democratic control and management of workers. And that in itself led to, what we experienced in Ghana. And as you know, when Nkrumah was, assassinated, we expect, you didn't see protests all over Ghana. Demanding that things should be done right and things like that. So socialism cannot prosper in one country, as I have said. It cannot. So it needs, as Kaman said, that workers of all countries must unite. If we have a revolution in Nigeria today, a socialist revolution, then we must link up with other countries within Africa with a view to forming Federation of African Socialist States, linking up with those states so that nationalization, democratic management of resources and things like that will also take place in all these countries with a view to liberating resources to begin to develop society. Once it's isolated, it's going to get deformed, it's going to get bureaucratized, and over time, it's going to collapse as we have had it in the Soviet Union under, when it eventually collapsed under Gorbachev, government.
Very well said. You can't overstate some of these facts because they are there for us to read and equally digest. Hopefully, little kids and the Gen Zs who might not have a bit of this history would get to know more of that so they can be aware to know how they can champion the cause of not just Nigeria but the world at large. And just to let us know that Kwame Nkrumah was exiled. He exiled himself to Poland, I would love to believe, where he eventually, died there. And I would love to believe that Nigeria as a country cannot continue to operate, like this, where they are giving out the millions of US dollars to insurgents, hoping that that will solve the problem that we have. The intentionality has to be there on the parts of our leaders. And until we're able to get that, we might just be playing ping pong, with ourselves and hoping that we are doing traction without knowing that we are still revolving in the same circle. That's our time for today. Thank you so very much, Mr. Nicholas. We truly do appreciate your time. All right, people, that's just about
it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so very much. It's an honor having you every time. And that's our time for today. We'd love to say thank you. Wherever it is you've watched, you've streamed from around the world, we say thank you. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at Enterprise TV7 to download and share with your friends and folks if you may. And equally, you can read up on everything we've talked about when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. I am Henry Igwebike. Have yourself a splendid weekend, the beginning of a weekend, and I'll see you on another episode. Bye-bye.